Okay, good afternoon, Lourdes. To begin with, I would like to know how long have you been an English teacher?
Well, I finished my degree in 2003 and I've been a teacher since, although I have stopped for some periods of time being a teacher, but I've been a teacher then for over 10 years.
Wow, okay. Which studies do you have?
Well, I studied English language and literature in Universitat Autònoma de Barcelona. It's what we call here Filologia Anglesa.
Okay, and anything about German?
Yes, actually, when I was doing my degree, it was called Filologia Anglesa i Germànica, but since the part of the German language was really short, they decided to take away the German part of the degree's name. But yes, I was studying German, and actually I was living in Germany for over a year to learn some German.
Okay, interesting. Did you learn slang while you were studying your degree in English?
Not really. Teachers were not really teaching any slang, except for those literature subjects where in the book some slang was included in the books, so they had to explain a little bit of it, but not really. They don't teach slang at university.
Do you regret about not learning slang?
I'm not sure if I regret or not. I think that in order to learn slang, you should actually live in an English-speaking country so that you know where you learn the slang and which slang you learn. Because, of course, there are many different slangs depending on where you live or depending on which social group you belong to.
Okay, let's go for a difficult question. How would you define the word slang to me?
Okay, I think that slang is the language that a given social group speaks. That is, depending on where you live, in which zone of England you live, to which social level you belong, then slang changes. It's actually the same in all countries and all languages, depending where you live, your social background, your cultural level. So slang is just the words you use to communicate with the closest people to you, I think.
Okay, do you know slang?
Well, I know as much slang as you do, probably. That's the most common words, the words you look for on the internet and so on, but not that much slang. I don't think I would be able to communicate really fluently in slang. I should take a look at it. So I just know some expressions, the most common ones.
Okay, as far as you're an English teacher who works in a language school, have you ever thought about teaching slang?
Well, I've never really thought about it, although students are really curious about slang. They always keep on asking questions, and that's really the slang I teach. So whenever a student asks something, I really look for the answers for my students. But I've never thought about teaching English because I think that's far more important that students have a good level of English. So slang comes really after that, far after that.
Okay. If you were an English teacher who lived in England, would you teach slang to your students?
Well, I don't know. I guess that would depend very much on the school where I worked, whether they agreed or not, and whether and maybe it would be important for them to know some slang in order to help them develop in their social group. But I'm not sure that would be not me, but the school would be interested in teaching slang. I think that slang is a rather dangerous thing to teach. I don't know if you should learn slang. I think that one learns slang just by living in a place. Then it's when you learn slang because it's just a kind of a key for you to open some doors when you actually live in a place where they speak English. But I don't know if it's something to be taught, slang.
Okay. And now coming back to Spain, do you think that slang should be in the syllabus?
I think that the syllabus is already really full for English teachers. I mean, there are many things that need to be taught, and I'm not sure that slang is one of those absolutely necessary things to teach. I think that maybe it should be included in the sense that students should know that slang exists, but not as a subject per se.
Okay, what else? Can you give me some expressions in slang?
Well, I could give you the same expressions that you know probably from the internet, okay, all those lols and all those abbreviations, but I don't want to be rude, so I'm not going to be using any slang in this interview.
Okay. Do you think that slang will be taught at school in the future?
What do you mean at schools? At public schools or...
Well, any kind of schools, public, private.
Probably certain kinds of slang. I mean, there are different slangs. For example, I think that it's very important to know some of the slang that is taught, that is spoken, on the internet. I think that those expressions that sometimes you find abbreviations, you don't know what they are talking about. Maybe those might be useful even for business exchanges when they send emails and so on. There are some expressions that people don't know what they mean. Maybe that should be taught, but I'm not really sure it's absolutely necessary.
And what about in academies? Will you teach slang?
I think that I'll keep on teaching the same as I'm teaching now, in the sense that I would rather teach literature in English schools that I find far more useful, maybe, because I think that slang really is too dangerous to teach to students. You can't teach just slang as a subject. Slang comes together with many other things and many other social implications that are far too dangerous for students who don't live in an English-speaking country to understand. So I think I'm not sure I'm going to be teaching that.
Okay. What if I use slang in an official exam, like FCE or...
Not sure what the reaction would be on the side of the teacher, but once more, I think it's really dangerous because you don't know if the expressions you are using them correctly. It is already difficult to use the correct expressions in an oral exam. Even more difficult would it be if you used slang, which sometimes can be really rude. So I'm not sure that students know how to use those expressions. We don't know all the things that those expressions imply. So I don't think it's really safe for a student to use it in an FC exam.
Okay. And last question, but not least. Do you think that slang is better or worse for the English language?
I think that neither of them. I think that slang is an inner part of any language, and of course also for English language. So I don't think that you can identify it as good or bad. I think that it's just something that exists and will go on existing inside a language. It's something alive that evolves and changes together with the world. A different thing is whether it's good or bad to teach it. Okay, I think that these are two different questions. Slang exists, has always in fact existed, okay, depending on the social group. So I don't think it's good or bad for English. I think it's good or bad for English teaching, and I think that for English teaching is far too dangerous to use.
Okay, interesting. Thank you, Lourdes.
Okay, you're very welcome.